Where is the security deposit? That shouldn't be a complicated question. But to many agents new to property management, it seems to be the most confusing part of the transaction. I'm Keith Wood, Director of Property Management for ERA American Real Estate. Let's take 5 minutes to go over some basic things you should know before accepting that security deposit money. After all, dealing with the security deposit shouldn't be scary or problematic. The security deposit can help avoid headaches for you, the landlord, and the tenant down the road, and it should be considered on loan from the tenant during the lease. You are responsible for its safekeeping, and you are responsible for either returning the check or using it to offset damages. Following a few basic steps can avoid problems. First, know the laws. Sure, reading law can get very confusing. However, the Landlord and Tenant Act is very easy to read and self-explanatory. My favorite resource for the Act is Online Sunshine at www.leg.state.fl.us. The website is very organized. You just choose the year, in most cases the current year, and the information is organized by tabs based on the title of each chapter. If you have a problem, you can go right to the area that covers that issue. It's a good way to know that you're doing things on the right side. Another big issue is the trust account. You must have a separate trust account for security deposits. You must never commingle funds. Where I've seen the mistake most is with agents who take on property management as side income. It's not their main business. These agents know there's a security deposit, and they know they can't mess with it, but they don't understand that they can't just throw it into an account with the rest of their money. There are 3 main ways to hold the deposit. The first is in a separate, non-interest-bearing account at a Florida banking institution for the benefit of the tenant. The easiest and most popular option. The other 2 ways to hold the deposit are in a separate, interest-bearing account, paying the tenant most of the interest, or you may post a surety bond. Most avoid these last 2 options because they can get very confusing and are fairly complicated. Another tip I have concerning security deposits is don't offer a lower amount just to get more prospects. I've seen advertisements for properties that offer no security deposit or 1/2 security deposit. There's a lot of risk in doing that. In addition, I always document the condition of the home just prior to the tenant moving in. You should take photos and video to get a more clear understanding of the property condition when the tenant moves out. It protects both parties, the tenant and the landlord. I write a detailed report about the condition of the property and take photos of every problem area. Then, I have the tenants do the same within 10 days of moving in. These are separate reports, and I'll compare for discrepancies at that time. If you have a dispute, having these detailed reports may help you solve it outside of court. Whether you deduct for damage or not, Florida has rules about the allotted time frame for refunding the security deposit after a tenant vacates. Upon the tenant vacating, if you do not intend to oppose a claim on the security deposit, you have 15 days to return the full deposit. If you do impose a claim on the security deposit, you have 30 days to give the tenant written notice by certified mail of your intention to impose a claim on the deposit and the reason for imposing the claim. The claim letter must be detailed and include the specific wording required by Florida Chapter 83.49. If you fail to make the claim within 30 days, you lose the right to deduct anything, no matter how much damage the tenant caused. Above all, you must keep the landlord in the loop and communicate your policies and procedures for security deposits with them. It's not good when the landlord doesn't know what's going on. Remember, if the lease is written correctly, it is between the tenant and the landlord. So any disputes or lawsuits are between those 2 parties. So you must keep the landlord in the loop. You don't want them getting into a lawsuit for an incident they had no prior knowledge of. Collecting, maintaining, and processing a security deposit doesn't have to be difficult or stressful. Brush up on the laws, document everything, and keep the lines of communication open. By doing so, you can save yourself and the landlord headaches down the road.